Ever had one of those moments where your entire life flashes before your eyes? A moment that makes you question everything you thought you knew, forcing you to reevaluate your priorities? Maybe it's the moment a truth you've been ignoring finally slaps you in the face. Well, that's exactly how my story begins. I was a successful entrepreneur. I built Grant Goods, my retail business, from the ground up, offering affordable, high-quality household items. Our stores quickly resonated with families. From a single shop in a small town, we expanded to hundreds of locations nationwide. But this rapid growth distanced me from the heart of the business, from the people. Everything looked perfect on paper. The reports at board meetings showed record profits, sky-high customer satisfaction. But something fell off. Numbers don't lie, sure, but I knew they didn't tell the whole story. I woke up one morning with this nagging feeling that I couldn't ignore anymore. I needed to get information firsthand, not just from the office, but from the stores, the customers, and the employees. On a whim, I decided to visit one of our stores undercover without telling anyone. I swapped my expensive suit for jeans and a plain jacket. My goal was to blend in like any regular customer, breathe the air of the store, and see the truth for myself. My destination, store number 213, located in a bustling suburb far from corporate headquarters. When I walked in, the first thing I noticed was the smell of freshly brewed coffee. It was coming from the little cafe in the corner, creating a warm, inviting atmosphere. The shelves were neatly stocked, the products carefully arranged. I felt a surge of pride at first. We'd done it, but I reminded myself that this was just the beginning. I needed to dig deeper. As I wandered through the aisles, I picked up a few items: a kitchen knife set, a set of towels, and a box of light bulbs. Then something caught my eye. The customer service counter was deserted. Usually, there's a smiling associate ready to help, but there were 3 customers waiting patiently, and their faces told a story of frustration. Giving in to my curiosity, I joined the line. After waiting for what felt like forever, a young guy named Derek finally appeared behind the counter. He didn't apologize for the delay or acknowledge the waiting customers. Instead, he leaned against the counter with a dismissive attitude and muttered, "What do you want?" His tone was more annoyed than helpful. Watching Derek's behavior, I was astounded. One customer wanted to return a defective blender. Derek shot him down, citing some obscure receipt policy. Another customer asked for directions to a specific product. Derek barely looked up, vaguely pointing towards the back. When it was my turn, I smiled politely and asked, "Excuse me, could you check the price on this item?" Derek didn't even glance at the product. "There's a scanner over there," he said, jerking his thumb towards an aisle. I was stunned. Was this the customer experience my company was promising? This was far from it. Thanking Derek, I walked away, my head spinning. I decided to investigate further, to see if this was just an isolated incident. I approached another employee, a middle-aged man named Todd who was busy stocking shelves. Todd immediately stopped what he was doing and greeted me warmly. "How can I help you today?" I asked a few questions about the products. Todd patiently answered each one, even suggesting alternatives and sharing tips. I could see that Todd genuinely cared about the customers and the store. Giving in to my curiosity, I started chatting with Todd. "You seem to know a lot about this store. How long have you worked here?" Todd's face lit up. "Almost 10 years, he replied. "I love this place. The customers, the work. It feels like home. But to be honest, things have been tough lately. We're short-staffed, and some of the newer hires just don't care about the job. It's frustrating, but I do my best to keep things running smoothly." I felt a mixture of admiration and sadness. Todd's dedication was exactly what I wanted to see in my employees. But Derek's behavior was a glaring problem. Thanking Todd, I left the store, determined to get to the bottom of what was going on. Back at headquarters, I reviewed the employee records and customer feedback for store number 213. Sure enough, there were numerous complaints about rude behavior and poor service. Derek's name appeared in many of them. I also discovered that Todd had been recommended for promotions multiple times, but he'd always been overlooked due to budget constraints. I realized that my company's rapid growth had created blind spots. Policies meant to streamline operations had unintentionally made it harder for dedicated employees like Todd to succeed, while those like Derek flew under the radar. A week later, I returned to store 213, this time as Ethan Grant, the CEO. I called a meeting with the staff and revealed my undercover visit. Derek looked uncomfortable, while Todd and the others seemed curious. Addressing the staff, I said, I started this company with a simple idea: to make life easier for people. That includes our customers and our employees. But somewhere along the way, we lost sight of that. I saw great dedication from some of you and behavior from others that just doesn't align with our values. This is a wake-up call for me and for all of us. Turning to Todd, I said, your commitment and hard work haven't gone unnoticed. Starting today, you're being promoted to assistant manager. You've earned it. Todd's eyes widened in surprise, and the room broke into applause. Then I looked at Derek. This company is built on respect for each other and for our customers. If you're not willing to embrace that, this might not be the right place for you. I'm giving you a chance to prove you can do better, but the choice is yours. Over the next few months, I implemented changes across the company. I introduced better training programs, increased staffing levels, and created an anonymous feedback system for employees and customers. Surprisingly, Derek took the opportunity to improve under Todd's mentorship. He became a more attentive and reliable employee. This experience reminded me of the importance of staying connected to the heart of my business. It wasn't just about profits or expansion. It was about the people who made it all possible. And thanks to one eye-opening visit, I was able to set things right. Key takeaways. Empathy. Understanding the perspective of employees and customers is crucial for solving problems and making improvements. Transparency. Open communication and feedback mechanisms make employees feel valued and increase their loyalty to the company. Recognition. Rewarding and promoting successful employees boosts their motivation and sets an example for others. Values. A company's values should form the foundation of all decisions and behaviors. Facts and figures. Employee satisfaction directly impacts customer satisfaction. Happy employees provide better service to customers. Employees who don't align with the company culture can reduce productivity and negatively impact other employees. Feedback mechanisms help companies continuously improve and grow. So, what did you take away from this story? Maybe you face similar situations in your own business or life. Share your thoughts in the comments, and let's discuss this important topic together. Transforming the scenario into an emotional narrative. Let's turn it into an emotional scenario about a leader rediscovering the human values he lost in the intensity of business life, and understanding that a company isn't just about numbers. Introduction. There are moments in life, aren't there? Moments when everything suddenly loses its meaning, and you're forced to embark on a new journey. Well, that's how my story began. I'm Ethan Grant, the founder of the Grant Goods brand, which I created with my own two hands. On the road to success, I sacrificed everything. My family, my friends, sometimes even my own values. But then one day, everything changed. Development. I woke up one morning and felt an indescribable emptiness inside. My company had grown. Our branches were spread all over the country. The numbers were great. Our profits were increasing every day. But I knew something was missing. It was as if I had lost my soul somewhere along the way. That day, I made a radical decision. Without telling anyone, I decided to visit our store, number 213, like an ordinary customer. I took off my expensive suit and put on jeans and a simple jacket. My aim was to see the realities with my own eyes, to understand what my employees and customers were experiencing. When I walked into the store, the first thing I noticed was the smell of fresh coffee. This smell, coming from the small cafe in the corner, was creating a warm and inviting atmosphere. The shelves were neat, the products were carefully arranged. At first, I felt a sense of pride, but I reminded myself that this was only the beginning. As I wandered through the aisles, I saw a group of people waiting in front of a customer service desk. The desk was empty. There was nobody there. After waiting for minutes, a young man named Derek finally appeared. He didn't apologize, nor did he explain anything. With an indifferent attitude, he asked, "What do you want?" His tone was more annoyed than helpful. Derek's attitude shocked me. One customer said he wanted to return a defective blender. Derek shot him down, citing some obscure receipt policy. Another customer asked where to find a specific product. Derek pointed to the back, barely lifting his head. When it was my turn, I smiled kindly and asked, "Excuse me, could you check the price of this product?" Derek didn't even bother to look at the product. "There's a barcode scanner over there," he said, pointing to an aisle. At that moment, something broke inside me. Was this my company? Was this how we were treating our customers? Was this what the brand I had worked for years for should be? I approached another employee. A middle-aged man named Todd was busy arranging the shelves. Todd stopped his work as soon as he saw me and asked with a smile, "How can I help you?" I asked a few questions about the products. Todd answered each one patiently, even suggesting alternatives and giving tips. I could see that Todd really cared about the customers and the store. While chatting with Todd, I listened to his story. He told me that he had been working in this store for years, that he loved his job, but that they were struggling lately due to staff shortages. Todd had been recommended for promotion many times, but had always been ignored due to budget constraints. At that moment, I made a decision. We would no longer be just a profit-oriented company, but a people-oriented company. The happiness of our employees and customers would come before everything else. Conclusion: when I returned to headquarters, I reviewed the employee records and customer feedback for store number 213. I saw that Derek's name had appeared in many complaints. I also learned that Todd had been recommended for promotion many times, but had always been turned down. I took action immediately. I warned Derek and gave him a chance. I promoted Todd to assistant manager. Then, I made a series of changes throughout the company. I launched better training programs, increased the number of staff, and created an anonymous feedback system for employees and customers. Over time, a big change occurred in our company. Our employees became happier. Our customers became more satisfied. Our profits also increased, but this time it had a real meaning, because this success was stemming from people, not just numbers. That's my story. A leader rediscovering the human values he lost in the intensity of business life, and understanding that a company is not just about numbers. I hope this story inspires you too and helps you make a difference in your life. The truths and meanings behind the story. This story highlights not only the success of a retail chain, but also the importance of leadership, human relations, and values. The change that Ethan Grant experienced is a lesson for all of us. Leadership. Although Ethan was a successful entrepreneur, he realized that he was distancing himself from the essence of the business. Coming out of his comfort zone, going to the field, and seeing the realities made him a true leader. Leadership is not just about making decisions, but also about understanding and valuing the needs of employees and customers. Human relations. Thanks to the relationships Ethan established with his employees and customers, he identified the problems in his company and came up with solutions. Human relations form the basis of business life. Empathizing, listening, and understanding are the keys to establishing successful relationships. Values. Ethan realized that he had forgotten the values he had set when founding the company. Returning to these values ensured the company's revival. Values create a company's identity and should form the basis of all decisions and behaviors. Being human. Through this experience, Ethan remembered that he was not just a businessman, but also a human. On the road to success, not losing human values should always be a priority. What's your story? So, what lessons did you take from this story? Maybe you've had a similar experience, or there are things you want to change in your life. By sharing your thoughts with us in the comments, we can reflect together on this important topic. Remember, each of our lives is a unique story, and it's up to us to live this story in the best way possible. Now, I want to make a call to you. If this story has inspired you, promise to stand by your values and value people, because only then can we achieve true success. Don't forget to comment and share your thoughts with us. See you in our next story.